I've got a big question I want to ask everybody, and I think everyone wants to know, what does a day-to-day look like for you guys? And I imagine for everyone here, it's a little bit different. Tom, do you want to start with that?
Yeah, I mean, day to day is different. And the reason why it's different is it's maybe not the popular thing to say, but I was in preparation for this, I was thinking, okay, how do we be real? How do we inspire? How do we educate? But it's not a glamorous role. If you are thinking that legal operations is this, we're only living in this 30,000-foot cloud all day, just playing in the strategy waters, it isn't. But also, it can look differently and vary. So, as a paralegal, I knew, if I was in a specific practice area, there would maybe areas that I would try and focus on more, or I would pivot to other areas. I couldn't only focus on, filing, appellate briefs in Chapter 11 adversary cases in defense of corporations objecting to confirmations of plans. The same way in legal operations, we would love to just hire people and just press a button and roll out technology all day and be able to just snap our fingers, and CLM provides AI, which talks to e-billing and gives us beautiful data analytics. But the fact is that sometimes we play 75% strategy and 25% tactical. Sometimes we're reverse, and sometimes we're in between. And so for me, I really try and say that I and my team is focused on the people, payments, process, and technology. So whatever we're doing, our day is looking like what data-driven decisions need to be made, what processes need to be understood that align with the business, throwing in, is there an appetite for change or not? So we really have to be able to be a balancing act, and much like a legal professional or a paralegal, that's what we're good at. We have worn multiple hats. We have done everything that we want to do versus everything of not what we're wanting to do, whether it's staying up at 11:59 to file a brief on the West Coast because that's bad law firm behavior and we shouldn't be doing that anyways. But maybe there's some skill sets and time management that you learn in that too. So I think everything, without being this, rose-colored glass, is everything is one learning experience and building block to another that you really just have to start leaning into and saying, this is what my bag looks like, and how can I be of an asset to the business through legal operations.
So for me, working in gaming and hospitality, before the merger, I was in one property. So we were not part of any other conglomerate, Caesars or MGM or any of the others, big names. And so we were a small legal department. We had a total of 7 people, 1 GC, director of compliance, director of risk, director of contracts, me, a corporate paralegal, and 2 other support role type people. And so I was a man of many hats, because when I transitioned into doing more true legal ops work, I was still having to do some senior paralegal work, but I was kicking more and helping my corporate paralegal actually grow, who reported to me, and taking on more substantive work. So I could do more legal ops. Now transitioning into a much larger legal department, there's 30 plus people in this department. I don't have to be the man of many hats. I now can focus in on true legal operations work. And so, but to the point, I still am doing a variety of things to, the beginning process of identifying and implementing an ELM system, designing workflows around certain aspects within the different business units, to information governance, to business management, to business intelligence. Still doing many things. And to what Tom was saying a minute ago, I took all those skill sets that I had from being a trial paralegal for so many years and doing large volume, large cases, complex cases. By design, I really was a project manager. I didn't call myself a project manager, but that's what I did as a paralegal for so many years. So I just took all those skill sets and just applied it to the time management and understanding how to balance. I've got this trial was going to happen this week, but I also had this giant discovery production that was going to happen at the same time. How do I do both of them? Understanding what are my resources, tapping into others, things of that nature. It's the same here in-house and in legal ops, is understanding how do you balance everything? Because there are very few. I mean, it happens in much larger corporate legal departments that really truly focus in on one area. But by and large, most of us are, people with many talents and skills that we have to juggle. So, Deisha, I'm sure you're the same way.
Absolutely, Carl. And I can tell you, you said 7 people in the legal department. That kind of rings true for the department that I have now. I had to build the legal department from scratch because it's very public knowledge. Our company came out of Chapter 11 bankruptcy or Chapter 13 bankruptcy last year. The team that they also were then purchased by another private equity company. So they had lots of transactions going down and coming back up. And the legal team that they had was a team of 3 people outside of the GC. And it stretched them so thin that you can only do that for a certain amount of time before you burn out. Yeah. And so when I came on board, I had the pleasure of rebuilding an entire legal team from scratch. My GC had left 2 months after I started. And so not only did I fill all of the positions that had vacated, we added another position. I added a legal administrator position. We have a corporate and regulatory paralegal, and we also have a manager of legal and risk. We have since added a records coordinator who handles all of the records requests and subpoena requests that come in. And then I also have the person who works at the front desk who has a legal assistant background to help us out as well. But I also was able to source for my GC. So I had a hand in picking who my boss was going to be. And many times we do not get asked what our opinion is or who we think would best fit with our team. And I took one person who had been with the company for 10 years, who sat at the front desk and made her a legal administrator. And Carl and Tom got a chance to meet her at Clock. And that was her first time in 10 years ever going anywhere to have value added to her. And so we had to build that around the department, around the personalities, and making sure that everybody kind of gelled and fit. And then our GC came along, and our legal team is less than a year old. I've been there for over a year and a half, but it's 7 of us strong. And I will be getting a legal operations analyst in October, God willing. And we keep growing and growing. But the person who talked about data analytics and how to use them in a non-monetary way, that is one of the other reasons why we focus on analytics, because what we can do to streamline a process and have efficient workflows, we can also utilize the people that we have more, or determine whether or not we need additional people and how that can help the business bring in more money if we can even be more efficient.
Wow. First off, wow that you raised the
Sorry.
No, sorry. I'm just like, time out. You built the whole legal department from scratch?
Yes. In 4 months. In 4 months. And I learned the position in 3 days. And, I know that's not going to be something that everybody is going to be trialed with, but to come into a company and learn 3 positions in 3 days and then have your GC leave and then you be the only person responsible. I had to report to the CEO for 6 months, and it was an amazing experience, and I needed the change at the time. But I can tell you, it is not for the faint at heart.
No. Not
for the faint at heart, or people who like to take vacations.
I wish I could have hired you guys. I wish I could have hired all of you. Oh my gosh. The skills y'all bring to the table are so unbelievable, and different skills as well. Like, everyone specializes in something else. Granted, everyone has that project manager style skills where you're bringing these efficiencies. You're making sure things are moving in the right direction, and encouraging growth, which is huge, because as an attorney, I'm just putting out fires. That's how my brain works. And there needs to be someone there that's like, all right, go put out fires. I'm gonna make sure we don't have fires ever again.